second live signal, and I'm not sure exactly when we're always live, but I'll wait for the second live signal, and then there we go, there's that live signal. And I'm going to go to my YouTube on my iPad here and see if I can pick this up. And it is just after the 5 o'clock hour. In the United States of America on the East Coast. And here we go. And it looks like I do not have the Mickey Mouse voice tonight. And I don't know how to do it if I wanted to do it. And so I apologize for the wrinkles on this shirt. I just dug it out. I went through a box of old shirts, and this one was in there, this old Brooks Brothers shirt, made in the United States of America. Pretty much mint condition. It's probably at least 30 years old. I had the Frederick.com added to it about 20 years ago, something like that. And so there you go. Pulled out several of them, so I'll put them in rotation here. That now that it's summertime, some summertime. So let's see. Blue Shirt Buddha's in the house. He said he was first. Our Wags popped in the house early. And let's see. Blue Shirt Buddha, how do I get your videos? Okay. Good evening all from London. So we got a Londoner in the house. Let's see here. Blue Shirt Buddha will be listening in the car. And 5 o'clock live now. 10 p.m. here in London. Good evening, Craig. Nice shirt. That's a salmon color or faded orange. It's like about a salmon color. Yeah, it's a little bit brighter color than what is showing on the monitor. It looks a little more faded out on the broadcast than it is in real life. But yeah, it's like almost like a salmon color or something like that. And it is a little bit faded probably. It's old, and it may have been out in the sun a couple times. It hasn't been worn much, I can tell you that. So there's that. And so what we're going to talk about tonight briefly is a lot of these Rolex guys, these YouTubers, and I put links in the description of the video to their channels. A lot of them are starting to talk about Grand Seikos. And a lot of them are talking very favorably about Grand Seiko. I even had a phone call from the Clivester, the watch wrangler. Today he's even gotten his hands on a Grand Seiko, and he was pretty impressed with it. So I'll be looking forward to his review as well on his channel. Link in the description. It's 11 o'clock in Italy. There you go. And Birmingham, UK. We're broadcasting across the pond here today. So it's interesting, folks. Have you guys seen these videos? Of course, Tim on the Watchbox has been favorable about these Grand Seikos for quite a while. And it seems like others are starting to pay attention to what's going on with Grand Seiko these days. Yeah, Clyde, he's the one I talked to, the watch wrangler. Talked to him earlier today. And he's got one. He was pretty impressed with it. He also picked up a 2010 Mac Pro machine. I've got one in the other room, 2010 Mac Pro that I bought new. He just bought his. And that's a beast of a machine. Even going on 10 years old here, it's still a beast of a machine. So, yes, he said a friend lent it to him. I thought it was you. No, it wasn't me. I didn't lend it to him. That's a beautiful watch, though. He sent me a picture of it, and I would definitely wear that puppy. Let me see if I can pull it up here on the phone. You probably can't see it much, but it's got the rice bracelet on it, and nice piece. I'm sure he'll be doing a review on it. And it's manual wind, so it's very thin, and it I don't think it's a high beat. I think it's a standard beat or whatever they would be. Let's see, quite the difference compared to GS from 5 years ago. Okay. Different in what way? And there, you think they're becoming more accepted by the Rolex crowd, the Rolex experts? What's different since 5 years ago? I'll be interested to know what you mean about that. That watch that's on the screen right now, of course, is the first 9F movement that has a GMT function. So that's pretty cool in and of itself. And that thing is just super, super, super accurate and rugged, very durable. Both of the Grand Seikos I have, this 231 spring drive, they're known for being extremely rugged. And this thing, I do not baby this watch, and it's been a year plus on the wrist. And as you can see, it looks pretty good. At least I think it looks pretty good. He commented the bracelet was a bit jingly jangy. Archie didn't like the bracelet either. Beautiful, simple dial. Actually, he told me that the bracelet was exceptional. So I guess we're getting different messages. He said the bracelet was very nice, the Clivester, when I talked to him. And yeah, these bracelets are amazing, and they don't jingle at all. They're very, very solid, extremely well made, more comfortable than a Rolex bracelet. So yeah, it's a big step up from a Rolex bracelet for if you actually are going to wear the watch. Now, again, if you're going to just put the watch in a box or put it in a safety deposit box or something like that, then this is all irrelevant, right? But if you're going to actually wear the watch, these bracelets that Grand Seiko has are extremely comfortable because of the flexibility and because of the finishing. They're significantly more comfortable than even a Rolex Jubilee bracelet, which I think the Jubilee is about the most comfortable bracelet that Rolex makes. This trumps that. This is more comfortable than a Jubilee bracelet. So, from a standpoint of actually wearing the watch, you cannot beat the bracelets on the Grand Seiko. Now, I do not like the ones that don't have micro adjustments. Like that watch there does not have micro adjustments, so you've got to get the bracelet pretty right, and that's a problem if your wrist expands and it gets too tight or something. So that can be an issue. Fortunately, I have two watches. This one has micro adjustments, and it also has the extension bracelet. So this is kind of my beater, wear most of the time watch. This other one will be when I'm wearing a suit and things like that, and I typically would be in an air conditioning situation, and I would not be in a situation where my wrist would swell up, and so that will probably work fine for me. But it all depends on your circumstances as to whether or not you need the micro adjustments. And everybody's different. Some people, their wrist doesn't expand and contract as much. I think as you get older, it gets worse, by the way. I don't remember it being as big a problem with my wrist when I was a youngster. Okay, so do you think GS will eventually introduce names for their watches? I doubt it. They are pretty clueless when it comes to branding. We've talked about this many times. They know how to make a watch, but they don't know how to brand a watch, and they don't know how to market a watch. So I doubt they will figure that out. And they don't need to because they're at capacity. They can't really make any more watches than they're making now because of all the handwork in them. So really they are at capacity. So there's no reason for them to up their game as far as marketing and branding is concerned, because the word is starting to get out. People are starting to realize that the watches are pretty fantastic, and they're buying them. They're buying them to actually wear them, I think. There's actually a Grand Seiko dealer in my local area. It's only been there for half a year. Got to admit, there's not a lot of places in the UK which stocks Grand Seiko. They need to expand. Yeah, they can't expand. They don't have the capacity. They can't build enough watches. So they've added about 20 dealers here in the U.S., and I think that's going to be it. And so, yeah, they've got to be very careful about expanding anymore because they just can't make enough watches to meet the demand. So It's not like a machine-made watch like Rolex where they can crank out 600,000 units a year. They can't do that with the Grand Seiko. I hate the references for those Seikos and Grand Seikos. It's really confusing. Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing. Once you find the watch that you want, I mean, like this one I refer to as the 231 because that's the last 3 digits of the number, but they actually have some others that end in 231 that aren't this watch. But bottom line is it's a titanium diver. It's a 200-meter titanium diver, and if that's what you want, I mean, really, what does it matter what the name of it is, right? You find the watch you want, and you buy it, and you wear it. Again, from a standpoint of marketing, it's not very smart, but they don't have to worry about that because they're pretty much at capacity. So we've got Jacko in the house. He says, hello, all. Let me see what else I can... Oh, by the way, I went to a friend's wedding, Christina Denny. Some of you all may have met her at a little treasury event last year. She was kind enough to come and help host the event, and I went to her wedding on Saturday, and I've got a video up. So take a look. It's on this channel. A little video we did for her so she could have something to look back at 10, 20 years from now, and her little rug rats, she'll be able to show them her wedding day. Little video. And I put some photos up on my YouTube, on my Flickr. Trying to load that in right now so I can show you those. So Ethan's a lucky guy. There's Ethan, and again, it was on Saturday. Very fun event. The weather here was fantastic. Was absolutely fantastic. And Christina was looking fantastic as well, as you can see. And so that was a fun time Saturday. If you get a chance, check out the video. So let's see what else we got here. If you can make it in America, you can make it anywhere. Grand Seiko partnering with Hodinkee really helped their brand a lot. When I went to a Hodinkee 10 party, it was all over the place. Glad to see Grand Seiko being an option for a Rolex in this age of sports Rolex drought. Yeah, and the nice thing is people are able to spend less money and get a better watch. So that's pretty cool. Absolutely. Pretty cool stuff for those that can find one. You know, can find an AD in their area and take a look. I never recommend buying a watch without seeing it, see, touch, and feel, and really examine it, really try it on, make sure that it's going to work for you. I think people have a lot of issues sometimes when they buy remotely and don't get exactly what they want. Let's see what else. What else was I going to show you guys? Trying to see. And this is the one that GMT with the blue dial, and you've seen this photo of it, and that is one of the models that's starting to get harder to get. Specifically, the one with the blue dial, the one that I've talked a lot about. It's getting to be a little bit hard to find. And let's do this. Let's do a quick time check. Let me see if I can get the watch up. And let me see if I can do a side-by-side. Here we go. So do a little time check here. Let's see how accurate the 9F movement is. Oh, I might need to refresh the time clock. I better refresh it because it's not always accurate unless you refresh. So I'm going to refresh that. Okay, so I'm going to freeze frame. I'm going to freeze frame when we get to straight up 12 o'clock marker. And we'll see how close we are on the timing here on this 9F. See how this puppy's doing against the official time. The official time, folks. Let's see how this is doing. We're going to freeze it right there, okay? So it looks like we're straight up at the 00. Looks like we're pretty much straight up right there, folks. I'm not really sure you could get any more accurate than that. Just saying. So, so there you go. And by the way, that second hand is hitting the markers every time. Sometimes, depending on the camera angle, it may appear that it's not, but it is hitting the markers. See, like right there, it's just off a hair. As it goes around, it'll vary. It'll be off the marker more depending on where it is in the cycle around the dial, but that's all just camera angle. So, let's see here. Some Rolex ADs now apparently keep the guarantee card for up to a year to stop gray market sellers. I thought we all live in a free world, UK, and a capitalist state. Well, I mean, oh, let me get off the, let's see here, get off of this. Okay. I mean, I think it's a good idea for them to take some measures to stop the gray market. I think the gray market is not good, and I think it's probably a good idea. I think they should just crack down more on the ADs, and because a lot of ADs sell out the back door to gray market dealers. And they'll sell a couple of high dollar watches, like a couple of gold watches that they normally can't sell. They'll blow them out the back door to some flippers, some gray market guys, and then they'll give the gray market guy a Submariner or something for the trouble, you know, because he's willing to take the 2 gold watches or something. That sort of thing goes on all the time. And I just think that Rolex should crack down on ADs that do that. They should, you know, make sure that the ADs are selling to end users and not flippers. I think that'd be a good idea, to tell you the truth. But Rolex probably doesn't care. They're selling the watches, so it is what it is. Let's see here. Grand Seikos are the watchmaker's choice of a watch, I feel that, and JLC, okay. Hello all, the Grand Seiko. Hello all, the Grand Seiko bang on Craig. Okay, I'm not sure exactly what that means. Okay. True Liberty, Omega's movement is definitely better than Rolex. GS Daishoki, I'm not sure what that dial, and my SNG 311 is definitely better than Rolex. Rolex still is a good brand with good value retention value. Well, if somebody cares about the value retention of their watch, it tells me they should not be buying that watch. They can't afford it. If they have to worry about the value retention on their watch, that is a bad sign. That means that they should not be buying that watch. Very bad sign. Okay, so let's see what else we got here. People who bought Rolex to flip are the same people who keep the bubble of Rolex prices growing. There you go. As an owner of multiple watches, I'm glad to have a Grand Seiko and a Seiko alongside my 2 Rolexes. Well, there you go. Should sell those Rolexes at the top of the market. Just get rid of those and invest that money wisely, and I think that'd be a good move. The time Craig accurate is. There you go. All right, let me just refresh this and make sure we got the latest comments here going on. Should sell those. There we go. Okay. So what else? Yeah, so somebody made a comment earlier on one of my videos, and he was like, he was trying to compare me to some of these watch guru channels. And it's like, I mean, this channel, and my opener on my channel, I was pretty clear about this. This is not just about watches, this channel. We do a lot of things on this channel. I do a lot of product reviews. I cover a lot of events. There's a lot of things we do on this channel that have nothing to do with watches. So you can't really compare this channel to other channels that are focused just on watches. I mean, their focus is watches. This channel, that's not the focus here. We do a lot of things on this channel. We do whatever I feel like doing, and in my life there are a lot of things other than watches. So there's that. So like you said, Craig, with Bitcoin, I play the long game. Well, yeah, sell those watches and buy Bitcoin. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing. Yeah, watches are not a good investment, not by any means. Sell, get your money out of those things and put them in a decent investment. Okay, so Bitcoin's at 92.54, folks. Bitcoin over $9,000. I'm happy, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm in till 2028. So what it is today is meaningless to me. What it's going to be in 2028 is what really matters. But it's nice to see it over $9,000. It's nice to see that. Every day that goes by that Bitcoin is at a pretty high price and people are buying it at that price means that Bitcoin is slowly but surely becoming more distributed to more people. And the more distributed it becomes, the stronger it will get. It will continue to get stronger as the supply is dispersed around more people all around the world. So this all takes time. This whole process takes time. A lot of the early adopters, people with 10,000 Bitcoin, right? A lot of the early adopters are slowly selling some off. See, they don't want to crash the market either, but like it gets over $9,000, some of these sellers are probably some of those early adopters that have a lot of Bitcoin. And if other people are scarfing up that Bitcoin, by definition, it is becoming more distributed. And the broader that base gets, the stronger it gets. And the more people that become educated about Bitcoin, the stronger it gets. So time is good. The more time that goes by that Bitcoin survives and holds a decent price, the better, if you ask me. So, let's see. Craig, is there anything you splurge on irrationally? Your discipline and self-control is superhuman. No, I buy things. I just bought another wireless mic system that I didn't even need. I bought it on eBay because it was a pretty good buy. Here, I'm going to pull it up here. I buy stuff all the time that I don't need. Let's see here. Let me pull it up here. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I just bought that Sennheiser mic system with the MKE2 mic. See, that's the high-end mic. And that's about a $900 system. And it looked to be in really good condition. Like new condition. So, where are the photos of it? Well, anyway, so see original listing. So yeah, I grabbed it, and I don't really need it. I mean, I've already got 4 sets of them, but anytime I can grab the MKE2 set for a good price like that, I go ahead and grab it. I might be able to sell it to a client or something like that, but I can always put it to use. So yeah, I'll buy things on the spur of the moment that I don't really need. I try to buy wisely. I try to get a good deal. I also give away a lot of things. I had a friend of mine here the other day, Kent Courtney, who's been on the channel here, and I took him back into one of the guest rooms, and I got a whole bunch of stuff piled up. I do product reviews, and the stuff that just ends up back there in that back room. And I took him back there and I said, just, here's a box, whatever you'd like, just load up. He loaded up a bunch of stuff that he could put to use, and I do that all the time. I call that my gift room. So yeah, I impulse buy and I impulse give. That's one of the best things that you can do in life is give back and give back to other folks. I think that's a good thing. Let's see here. Our Wags is in the house. At a point in time, the previous high Bitcoin at 19,000 will be a bargain. More cryptocurrency is coming and will make Bitcoin even stronger. Wow, our Wags is becoming a Bitcoin bull. He's becoming a Bitcoin bull. Watch Doctor, what tripod do you use on your camera? I primarily use Enduro. I've got a review here on my channel. Let's see. Let me see if I can pull this up. They're really good tripods for the money. You're going to spend around $500, maybe 500 plus. And if you step up to like a really right stuff, they're made in the U.S., you're going to spend more like $1,000. So let me see if I can find the Enduro. Here we go. So let's see here. Well, anyway, you can find it here on the channel. There's one of my videos about Enduro tripods. Enduro tripods are the best. And just search Enduro, I-N-D-U-R-O. I've got about 5 or 6 of those tripods, and they really are good tripods. One thing I like about them is you can just take the leg, you can just twist and deploy all 3 legs at the same time and twist them back real quick. It's very quick and easy to deploy the tripod. I'll grab one real quick. I've got one right over here. Okay, here's one with, this one has the Enduro BHM2 head on it, which is kind of a cool concept of this head, and they use it on their travel tripods, and it's pretty cool how it works. The other thing about this one that's kind of unique is this one you can take the center column up. See if I can do this on the camera here. You can take this up, okay, and you can tilt this, okay, so you can put the head, you know, at an angle like this, so you can do all kinds of things with it, right, by doing that. So it's kind of a unique feature of this particular tripod. But they are, I'm sorry I'm not talking into the mic, they are very, very solid, and everything works on them well. Now they are made in China, but they're a quality piece. To step up to an American made, there's a couple of companies that make them. One is Really Right Stuff, but you got to spend double the price of the Enduro tripods. And the problem with really stepping up and spending that kind of money for a tripod is, I mean, I cover a lot of events, and sometimes you take your tripod and you set it in the corner somewhere or something, and you're working and so on. It's at risk for somebody to walk off with a tripod. And I'd hate to have $1,000 or $1,500 in a tripod and have it walk off. It's bad enough to have a $500 tripod walk off. And I've never had a failure on any of these Enduro tripods. They've worked really well. So I highly recommend the Enduro tripod. Let's see. Craig, I saw you on Instagram for a commercial. Oh, not sure what that was. Not sure what that was about. Craig, what's the image a GS watch gives away in your opinion? What's the image a GS watch gives away in your opinion? I don't think any watch, I don't think people, if you're talking about what other people care about your watch, I don't think people care much about whatever watch you're wearing. I think if you've got a gold date 8 on, 18 karat yellow gold date 8, it's pretty impressive. People are impressed because of all that gold. I mean, it looks fantastic. Even if they don't know it's a Rolex, they know there's something really special about it because of all that yellow 18 karat gold. It just really is amazing. So that's going to impress people. Now, some people might not think much of you. They might think you're a drug dealer or something, right? But a lot of people are going to be impressed by that watch. But a typical steel sport watch like a Rolex Sub or GMT or this watch that I have on, people don't care. People aren't going to, it ain't going to matter to them. So there's that. Don't buy the watch to impress others. Buy it because you like it. The 18 karat gold date 8 will impress others, though. I wore them for 40 years, and trust me, they impress people. Peter's in the house, and Noel says, thanks for answering all our questions. Well, sure, why not? Why wouldn't I? Let me just reload this real quick, and yeah, pile up your questions in there because I'm not going to go too much longer because I haven't eaten. I actually went for a long walk this afternoon, and I load my pocket up with peanuts in the shell, and I shell them as I walk and I eat them. So that was kind of my lunch, and that wasn't much. So I'm a little bit hungry. Let's see, True Liberty. It was glasses that separate at the bridge of your nose. If that's not you, you have a twin, Craig. Oh, well, I have, I did a video about those glasses. I wonder if somebody used my video. They call them clips or something. I forget the name of the glasses. I did a review on those here on the channel. Maybe somebody used it. I don't know. It's news to me. Craig, how do you like the bracelet size of 10 millimeters? So you're talking about for this one here. I think it's appropriate for that watch. I think it looks fine. On wrist, the watch looks great. I don't have a problem. I would be happy if it was 20 mil. It wouldn't bother me either way, but I think it looks great on that watch because it's a 39 mil watch. I think it looks great. Now this watch has a 22 mil bracelet. And for the size watch that this is, 44 mil, I think it looks great. I think it gives it really good wrist presence. And this one, I mean, it is just so comfortable because of this titanium. We've talked about it many times here on the channel. It's just, this watch has been living on my wrist in the hot weather, when I'm dressed casually, and even when I'm wearing a dress shirt this time of the year, I usually have the sleeves rolled up. I'm wearing this watch because it's just so freaking comfortable, and it's so easy to read. So, let's see. Have you ever tried a platinum date 8? I had a white gold date 8 because I got a really good buy on it. This was many, many years ago. I bought it from an AD who had it for 2 years and couldn't sell it, and I offered him a cash deal, and I got a good deal on it. So I did have a white gold date 8 back in the day, but never a platinum. I think it'd be awesome, though. They're heavy, but I think it'd be kind of cool. I still would rather have an 18 karat yellow gold date 8, though. Let's see. Do you cook well? I cook, but I don't know how well. I eat fairly healthy. I eat at least a half an avocado a day. I eat a lot of sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are very good for you, at least so I believe. I eat salmon. I eat nuts. I eat walnuts. I eat pecans. Like I said, I eat peanuts in the shell that come from Virginia, not that come from Mexico. You can have some real problems with peanuts out of Mexico. The ones done in Virginia, I think, are pretty good. So I try to eat relatively healthy. There's that. So truth hurts. Buy the watch for yourself only. Yeah, absolutely. Buy what you really like. What's going to be comfortable on wrist. It's going to do the job for you. Gold and two-tone watches are making a comeback. Okay, well, there you go. On your GMT. Yeah, the 19 mil on the GMT I think looks fine. I think it looks, it's a very elegant looking, it's a very nice looking watch. It can pass as a dress watch. It really can. It can do double duty as a dress watch / sport watch because it has the screw down crown. That's an extremely versatile watch. Only 12 mils thick. Grab and go watch, because it's 9F. You don't have to worry about it. If you have it off wrist for 3 or 4 days, you don't have to worry about it stopping or anything like that. Just grab it and go. You know it's going to be spot on accurate. I think it's a great travel watch. I think it's a great dress/sport watch. I think it's a very versatile watch. Have you tried putting your SBGA 231 on a NATO strap? I put mine onto one, find it much more comfortable. I don't know. I mean, this is so comfortable for me. I have no issues with comfort, so I don't think I would go to a NATO strap. I really like this bracelet. So let's see. Bark and Jack has star on the dial, so it's within 5 seconds. Yeah, okay, it's within 10. Exactly. That one limited edition one has the star. I think they're both extremely accurate. I think either way you're fine. But like Tom says, I do like the blue dial better. Let me pull up this photo with the blue dial, see if I can pull it up, because I have a stunning photo showing that. Well, actually, I can pull it up like this. Let me go. I've got somewhere else I can find it. Let's see here. Give me a second, because this is a cool photo. I was out walking, and the sun hit it. And it was just amazing. Let me see if I can find it. I hope I can find it. Oh, there. That might be it. I think that's it. Let's see if there's another one here. I can use this one. Give me a second here. Pull this up. Okay. There we go. That's a photo when I was out walking and the sun was just playing with that dial, and I said, I got to take a photo of this. And it's just amazing. I mean, that the dial, as you can see here, most of the time looks very dark, especially in that lighting there. It looks black, right? But you get it out in the sun and you get it at the right angles and so on. It just really is pretty freaking amazing. And you can see there the proportions of the bracelet to the case and all. It looks pretty good. And the fact that those lugs taper the way they do and everything helps a lot. They got a lot right on this watch as far as the design of the watch, in my opinion. Solomon, a man who knows how to eat well. Based on your diet, you should be living in the Pacific Northwest. Well, there you go. It's a good idea. The Grand Seiko Clive has on loan is nice. Andrew in the house. Yeah, it is. He sent me a picture of it. It's pretty freaking amazing looking. Grand Seiko's high accuracy quartz is the best, I think he meant, in the market. A nice video on Horology House channel. Yeah, see, that's the thing. That one that Citizen has, it's like within a second and all that, but it's got that solar charging and all that. It's got more things to give trouble. I don't think it's as robust. I don't think the watch in general is as robust as, for example, this watch here. So I would give the nod to the 9F. I think it's a more robust, better all-around solution than going with the Citizen. So yeah, that's the direction I would go. Do you ever use your phone camera for professional work? I rarely use the phone camera. And I mean, there may have been a few times when I've used something on the phone that I took on the phone for something business related. I mean, I guess you could call that professional, but rarely will I use the phone on the camera on the phone for anything important. I just don't think the pictures are as crystal clear. I didn't take this one with the phone, and I mean, it's just clearer and more crisp. I grabbed my real camera and took that. I did not take it with the phone. If I took it with the phone, it would be a little bit softer. It wouldn't be as good a photo, in my opinion. Let's see. Did Discovered Damasco recently. Everything else comes irrelevant except Grand Seiko, of course. Okay. What would you suggest you would improve on your GMT? Okay, we've talked about this a couple times. I would love to have micro adjustments on the bracelet, on the clasp on the bracelet. That would be fantastic. They wouldn't break my heart if they made it even thinner. If it was 10 mils thick as opposed to 12. It's about 12.1, I think. It wouldn't break my heart if it was 10 mils thick. I still would want the screw down crown. See, the problem is if they go too thin, you're going to probably lose the screw down crown. So I do want the screw down crown. So maybe they can't, realistically speaking, go much thinner and still be as robust as what it is now. But I mean, if I could have my cake and eat it too, if they could go down to 10 mils and still have a screw down crown, if they could give me micro adjustments on that bracelet, it wouldn't break my heart if the hands were thicker. If the hands didn't go to a point like they do, if they stayed thicker, and because of my eyes, you know, I'm older and so I can't read as well without my reading glasses. So that's why I like this one here. The hands are so big and everything. I mean, I can read it without my reading glasses in the dark. I mean, I can read this under any circumstances, right? So for me personally, I mean, the hands on this are great. I mean, they look great, but it wouldn't break my heart if they were thicker with even more lume on them. So those are a few things that you could do, but all in all, it's a pretty fantastic watch. I mean, it really is a pretty fantastic watch. 72 click bezel, if so, very, very nice compromise. Well, this is a fixed bezel on this one, of course. It doesn't rotate. So there's that. And Eric says, I wonder if Archie will ever own a Grand Seiko. He claims he's a watch snob, so he'll never buy one, but always talks about his admiration of the quality, action, and innovation of the brand. Yeah, I mean, but I mean, you don't need to have every type of watch. I mean, he's got some really nice watches, and you know, there's no requirement that he's got to also have a Grand Seiko, right? There are a lot of good watches, and everybody's not going to own all of them. I think that a 2-watch rotation is fantastic. I don't get, you know, having 6, 7, 8 watches. I think that's too much money to have tied up in watches, but that's just me. 9F watches are relatively quite thick because the main plate of the chassis is 2x as thick, making the watch 4x as robust as normal quartz watch. Tom Austin in the house. But they do make some. I mean, my dress watch was about 10 mils thick. My all gold dress watch that I had that had the 9F. It was 10 mils thick. So they can get them down to 9 or 10 mils in thickness. It is doable. But I don't know if it would be as robust as this watch if they got it down that thin. That's the thing. Always compromises in all these things. He may as well be the next Rolex expert to try one firsthand. There you go. Jason M. in the house says, good evening, everybody. If you look closely at the second hand of the quartz Grand Seiko, it vibrates both sides every second, unlike the cheaper quartz ones from the other brands which move in one direction. I don't know. It looks... Oh, well, let me go back to this one here. It looks pretty good to me, the way it clicks into place. I mean, there's a slight movement, but it looks pretty good. I'm not that picky. But in there, you can see it's not on the hash mark, but that's because of the camera angle. It's actually hitting the hash mark every time. So that's what we call an illusion. So... all right, I think we're going to wrap this puppy up pretty soon here. I don't know what else there is to talk about. We've kind of hammered this all out. Let me know real quick in the comments if you guys have any other questions. Steve is hopefully going to be doing a show tomorrow night. I asked him if he was going to do a show tonight. I wasn't going to do a show, but he said he wasn't going to do a show, so I figured I'd pop in here. And especially with all these Rolex experts talking about Grand Seikos, I figured it'd be something we could talk about. Let me know in the chat if there are any other questions. about the subject matter or anything else you want to ask. We had people ask about tripods. I mean, about spending money. We've had people ask about, hey, we even talked about Bitcoin a little bit. I think it's a good idea for everybody to have at least one Bitcoin. Not financial advice here, but I wouldn't want to be caught 10, 20 years from now without any Bitcoin. But that's just me. Citizen, Exceed high-end series, only quartz and battery. As your GS, Craig, if you want 5-second annual accuracy without EcoDrive. Well, you can get 5-second annual accuracy with some of the Grand Seikos, but between 5 and 10 seconds, I'm fine. I'm fine with either one. Have you seen? And again, remember this, okay? If you take nothing else away from this live stream, Grand Seiko under-promises and over-delivers, okay? This watch here is a lot more accurate than what they promise. This watch is within 1/4 of a second a month. In 4 months, this watch has gained about a second, okay? In 4 months. And they don't promise that kind of accuracy at all. So my experience with Grand Seiko is they under-promise and over-deliver. So if they say that this watch here is within 10 seconds a year, it's probably going to be within 3. I mean, that's just how they rock. That's how they carry themselves. So I have no problem with the accuracy. And another guy, I got to tell this story. I think I mentioned this before. A friend of mine was looking for a car. Her car was totaled, and she was looking for a car. And she was looking to spend 10 grand on a car. And you can get a pretty good Toyota. She had a Lexus. You can get a pretty good Toyota or Lexus for around 10 grand. If you go about 10 years old and get a low mileage, garage kept car, maybe 100,000 miles or less, you can get a decent car still for 10 grand. You can do it. It's doable. One owner car, right? 10 years old. And she says, yeah, I want to do that. I don't want to have a car note. I don't want to go back into a car payment and all this. And I want an SUV, because we talked about a Lexus LS sedan for her. Get an LS sedan, because you can get a lot of car for the money, right? Get like a LS 430, LS 460, something like that. And so anyway, she ends up going to the dealer, and he gives her this song and dance about, warranty and all this stuff, and so sure enough, she goes out of there with a car payment, and he had all her money. He took all her money and saddled her with a car payment, 3 years worth of car payments, and on a used car, no less, right? She didn't even get a new car. And, he's touting a warranty and all this stuff, and I'm like, hey, it's a Toyota. If it's a good one, if you get a good one owner, garage kept, well-maintained car, you're not going to have any warranty issues. It's just like one of these watches. People say, well, the Grand Seiko, it's only got a 3-year warranty, and the Rolex has a 5-year warranty. Neither one of them are going to give any trouble in 5 years. I never had a Rolex give any trouble. They're fine. They'll go 10, 20 years, no problem. Without any problems at all, they'll go 10, 20 years. So will this. A warranty is a non-issue, and it's certainly not worth paying money for. It's certainly not worth getting saddled with a car payment for 3 years. But this is why 2/3 of Americans are broke. 2/3. The average car payment in the U.S. is more than $500 a month. More than $500 a month. And I think it's up to like 8 years or something, the average. It's insane. And as Dave Ramsey would say, that this is why these people stay broke, is because they're making the banks and the car companies and all these folks rich, and at their own expense. So there you go. Good show, Craig. SBGT241 is also nice. Have you seen the Casio Oceanish series and the claim that the cases are similar in quality to GS? No, I haven't. Let's see. SBT2, okay. Enjoy your dinner. Okay, good night, everyone. Andrew saying good night. Have a great evening, Craig. Where you're watching, good health. I will certainly try. I will certainly try. R. Wag says, Dave Ramsey says, car payments are a dumb thing to do. Yeah. I would add any kind of a payment. Financing anything is not a good move. So on that note, and by the way, I've got links in the video description, helpful links for all of these things. On that note, I think we're going to, on this sunny, beautiful day here in Maryland, I think we're going to wrap this puppy up. Let's see, we got another comment here. A relative who is a surgeon operated the head of Lexus Greece. He got a crazy discount on a brand new LS. Well, there you go. Sweet potato, there you go. And we got a hello from Ireland. Paul's in the house. Vegas says, thanks, Craig. Great show. What's a good SUV Toyota around 10K, Joey? You're going to have to go at least 10 years old to get something in that price range. And the trick is to find something, maybe even 15 years old. The trick is to find a one-owner, garage-kept car that's around 10 to 15 years old, and that's your best bet. Because here's the thing, if you're an original owner and you're selling a car that's that old and you're trying to get 10 grand, it's not easy to get a buyer because you can't finance it like a dealer does and all that kind of stuff, right? You got to get a cash buyer. So you got to get somebody with $10,000 cash in their hand. So you're, as the seller, you're at a little bit of a disadvantage. As the buyer, you want to look for a one-owner, garage-kept car, and the older the better, because the price is going to be, you're going to get more car for the money. And if it's been kept in the garage the whole time and maintained properly, it doesn't matter that it's 15 years old. Like my Prius right now is a 2004 Prius. It's 15 years old. It's got 100,000 miles, just over 100, maybe about 120,000 miles on it. It's always been garage-kept, runs great. It runs fantastic. If I went to sell that car, I'd be lucky to get $6,000 for it, right? I'd be lucky to get $6,000, and somebody would get a heck of a car. So that's what you're looking for, something 10 to 15 years old that's been garage kept, one owner, well maintained. Go ahead and grab it, scarf it up. Thanks, Greg. Enjoy your dinner, Wags. Thanks. Used RAV4 Highlander. There you go. Thanks again for your time, everyone. Enjoy your dinner. I will do that. And everybody else, do the same. Enjoy your evening. Let me see if I can pull this puppy up on my little phone here. Get ready to terminate the broadcast. Hopefully Steve will get his audio squared away for tomorrow night's show. He had a few little audio problems on his last show. Okay, this is loaded in here. So I'm going to say, I'm going to end this event. Complete event. Hey, hit subscribe and click on that bell so you'll get notifications on this channel.